I'm Donald Moffat.
And I'm Heather Menzies. Logan's Run will not be on tonight.
But stay tuned for the Charlie Brown special and the Fat Albert Halloween special.
And we'll be back next Monday night.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Hi, I'm Alex Ross.
The two pieces are sort of a type. They're both kind of recreations of artwork that existed in the 90s. In fact, this piece here for the Avengers is in most ways a recreation or a tribute to George Perez's poster version from the mid-90s, where he did a shot that featured in it a figure of Captain America that was very similar to what I've done here, positioning of the Vision or positioning of Hawkeye, and I believe a few other elements are very similar to that piece, and it's consciously so. I was building off that inspiration, but I kind of refitted my design to fill out bigger shots of the figures so that I was making a wider composition and getting in a lot of the same characters, but still not quite as many as what George himself did, because George's thing was always to try and get in the maximum amount of content into pieces that he did.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time again for another Aw Yeah Trek Watch. Although not talking about Trek. Got a little Trek news, actually, that we'll get to later on. But, my God, the new Doctor Who show, Monarch, the Godzilla Apple TV show, For All Mankind, Quantum Leap, all back. It's a good time to be a fan of sci-fi television. You got myself, you got Franco, you got Mitch, you got Wayne. And, guys, I want to start with Doctor Who, because I think it was an interesting beginning. And here, I got the title card, The Star Beast. And unlike Star Trek, sorry, don't mean to poke the bear, but you'll notice written by Russell T. Davies from a story by Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons.
Yep.
Wow. Let's give credit is due. It's good to see, because Star Trek, despite its, we're diverse and we're very inclusive. Yeah, you're not really inclusive with the women, like God damn it, now DC Fontana and Ursula Le Guin, that clearly were story sources for your new stuff. And it's like, it'd be nice if you acknowledge these really, really great women of science fiction. But no, by all means, do whatever you do. So I'm very happy for Pat and Dave getting the proper credit that is due. But I like
the old Marvel UK.
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the Meep is our bad guy or whatever. Oh, not a bad guy. Don't call him a guy. Shame on you. But here's a panel of Dave Gibbons' art from that original Meep story.
Yep.
So on balance, I really liked it. I do feel that they really went out of their way to throw in some inclusive dialogue and shame the Doctor for referring to the Meep as a male. But, it's only 2 lines, and at least Russell Davies managed to incorporate, not so much when they're chiding the Doctor, but the fact that Rose, I got to get the picture of Rose, but Donna's daughter is a trans person, and I think making it part of the story was a good way to show inclusive, behavior, but also making it matter beyond, hey, look, hey, here we go. Yeah, just so you know. But I really liked it. Thoughts, everybody?
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. I was kind of underwhelmed because I was hoping for, I guess I was spoiled from the 50th anniversary special. And because it's the 60th, I was expecting some really big bang.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mitch, please.
No, I was going to say, as soon as I saw Dave Gibbons' name, I remember the Doctor Who comics. And then suddenly when the show started with the Meep, all of it came back to me. Like I knew the whole story. I'm like, oh, I already read this like 40, 30 something years ago. It was weird how quickly it stayed with me. And I like, there was not a lot of surprise, but I knew the story ahead of time. So it was cool to watch it live action, you know?
I do know.
I enjoyed it.
Franco?
I thought I like the episode. I like Doctor Who. I'm very behind. I was just telling the guys right before we came on that I just started the Matt Smith stuff when I left off. I don't know, 70 years ago, watching these episodes. So I'm going to try and go back and catch up. So I like the Tennant's back. I just don't know how, why, who, what came before him or anything. So
okay.
So I'm thinking I'm at a good jumping on point right now. But I want to go back and see all the stuff that I've missed.
Guys, have you stayed up to date with Doctor Who? Wayne says yes. Mitch, you have as well. I would say, Franco, and I'll see if the guys agree with me. You don't need to know. We don't know why he regenerated into the 10th Doctor, even though they're referring to him as the 14th Doctor now. That's part of the mystery. So you're really where we are, and you don't need Capaldi, Matt Smith, or Jodie Whittaker stories. You don't need it.
Oh, I do, because I need to go back and watch them. But
well, that's fine. But I'll be honest. I mean, I like the Matt Smith run. I mostly like the Capaldi run, and I don't blame Jodie Whittaker. I was very excited to have a female doctor. Chris Chibnall is a bad Doctor Who writer, and that's surprising because he's a lifelong fan, and I believe all that. But there were always too many companions, and I just felt like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor was massively underserved, and all the shippers wanted to see Jodie and her main companion Yaz get together, and it's like, no, the Doctor is asexual or non-binary, and I mean, I do like that Capaldi and River Song did get together. Sorry, spoiler, Francis.
come on. I was going to watch that at some point.
But I mean, but really, it's like, no, man, the Doctor doesn't do that. I'm sorry. And so whatever, it's the new fans, whatever. But yeah, I mean, so what I liked about this, it reminded me, guys, if you remember, of Russell T Davies' first episode with Eccleston. Not so much in all details, but presentation and tone. Where, all right, we got to move, let's go. And it was great. I just felt like we were running the entire time in a very good way.
I think it helps that with Murray Goldbach as the composer. So what you're doing is you're getting it's almost like a sense memory for all the beats, the musical beats within the episodes.
Agreed.
You're bringing back those old memories of those years with Eccleston and Tennant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like the Meep. I like the Wrath Warriors was very, I mean, but at the same time, it echoes your classic looking Doctor Who sort of villains, but also you do see that the budget has gone up a bit and we're getting good effects.
They almost look like the Martian Warriors in the design.
I'll take that.
I'm very confused why all the aliens have English accents. I'm used to them always having American accents.
That's because they're from the Empire. All the Empire guys have British accents. So they're bad. Well, no. The bad guys always have British accents.
Here's a comment right away from James Bunt. Rose Noble kept kicking me out of the story. She was probably 19 when this was shot, but she looks 25, or they look, pardon me. So when they're saying they're 15, it doesn't read right. I don't know. I like Rose Noble, and I'm glad they are part of the show. And I also appreciated that their existence helped Donna, with what happened to her back when it was near the end of David Tennant's run, and the way they wrote off Donna. And Franco, I don't know if you remember how they wrote her off at all.
It's kind of sketchy in my head.
She became a combination of a Time Lord and a human, but her brain couldn't handle all of it because it's not designed to do that. So in an effort to save her from basically blowing up, he wiped out all her memories of everything they did, and that way she'd be safe. But if she ever remembered, then it would come back again, and then kablooey.
Right.
But obviously, they managed to get around it because she had a daughter, and that's the way it split.
I like that actual solution. That was actually a really cool solution because, she wouldn't be able to handle it all by herself, so it extended down to her kid. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
And also the whole binary, non-binary thing was great because that's where you saw that Donna's brain was stuck, and she back in the original episode, she's like binary, and like kind of stuck. Again, I didn't need the slap of, well, if you weren't a man and you were a woman again, you'd understand why this worked. It's like, okay. And again, listen, it's 2 lines out of 45 or 50 minutes. Fine, whatever. All I can say is Russell Davies has a much more deft hand at handling Doctor Who, and understandably so, given the years that he did it, than Chibnall. And I don't mean to keep picking on Chibnall, but it made me stop watching the show. And I even said online on social media, it's like this shroud of depression with Doctor Who was lifted. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember now. Doctor Who was fun. And it's so nice and it's nice to see that Doctor Who is fun again.
You know what took me completely out of the episode, though, was when they were stuck in the ship and he was running across the room, hitting all the knobs and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, who builds a spaceship that way?
Well,
you have to
if you watch
knobs all over the place.
If you watch the end of time episode,
from a construction engineering standpoint, it just makes no sense to me.
Well, they built that into the Doctor Who lore years ago in the End of Time story with David Tennant, and he had his clone come on, but he was cloned from a hand. And he said the reason why this is acting this way is because this TARDIS was designed to be run by 6 or 7 different people, and that's why.
I know that about the TARDIS. I'm talking about the other spaceship.
Yeah, he's saying the alien ship.
Yeah, when he was running back and forth. Because
that one. Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, the Meep actually needed to mind control people.
Yeah.
To get
but that was like a callback to the End of Time episode.
Yeah.
With Wilford.
Yes.
Yeah, with the glass partition, the Star Trek. I always think it's Star Trek type of thing,
You're right. The death of Spock and everything too. Sure.
Yeah.
Did anyone? I thought the Meep hiding the way that ET hid was cute.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me at all. It was a nice little. Okay, we all know what this is a reference to. That's fine. Here, a couple more comments. Michael Cooper. I really enjoyed it. Tennant seems to slip back in the role with ease, but I was sold with Donna finally coming back and regaining her memories. That always bothered me. And then Gore Vidal says, companion memory loss isn't unusual in Doctor Who lore. It's been wonderfully painful when it was done, including with Donna. Oh, yeah, man. Going back to that Lost Earth 2-parter and stuff. And she's like, but we were supposed to be mates. We were supposed to travel. And it's like, yeah, man, that sucks. And again, that's why you love Donna, because there was no romance. It was, and Martha pined for the Doctor. You had Rose. I get it. But, 60 years of the Doctor, for the most part, has been, no, man, they're all friends.
And Rose did end up with the hand.
That's
she
right.
Did, yeah, she ended up with the battle version. Yeah.
That's true. Which was nice for Rose. I can appreciate that.
But I always I was going to say, I always thought Clara was going to try to hook up with the Matt Smith Doctor, that she always wanted to be with him. And then when he turned into an old guy, it freaked her out. She's like, oh, you're old now, Well,
she does kiss him at the end of the 50th day of the Doctor. And again, I just but again, she had a boyfriend. I like Donna's husband. Did I bring it up? Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
Funny, and just all right. My wife's got a weird alien friend. Sure, okay, I'm gonna roll with it.
Yeah. He takes a lot of things in stride, like the whole giving away the millions of dollars, and it's a lot, man. This guy, I don't know, he's constantly on a sedative or something. What's happening there?
And he's okay with her running away with the Doctor in the TARDIS.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I missed. Gore Vidal is asking if we have any thoughts about what Davies has said about changing how Davros will be portrayed in the future. Do you guys know? I don't know this. Do you, Wayne? Tell us what you know.
All right. So they've taken Davros out of the bottom half of the Dalek. So he's a normal man that can walk around. He hasn't been the accident hasn't happened yet.
Oh.
So what his thoughts are that, well, because Davros was in the bottom half of a Dalek, it wasn't a wheelchair. He kind of equates it to being a wheelchair, and he doesn't want people to think that all people in wheelchair are evil. So he's taken a concept and just what took not only the right turn, he's so far past Albuquerque that you just don't know where this is coming from.
So I'm sorry, finish, Wayne. And then
so that's why Davros is not going to be in the bottom half of the Dalek machine. He's going to be walking around.
Are we going to a point in time before Davros is in the chair?
It doesn't sound like Davros is ever getting back in the chair.
Okay, whatever. That's fine. Well, mentioning the chair, we have to obviously talk about Unit's new science advisor. Again, part of the story. Love her weapons in her chair. Happy, positive person. Congratulations. And again, Davies knows how to make it part of the story. And I did read an article saying that she's going to show up in Ncuti Gatwa's. Is that all? Am I saying it right, Wayne? Is that how you say his name?
I believe that's correct.
They're during his run and stuff. Here's my theory, and I'm curious what you guys think. I'm betting because Davies has said he's not going to retcon anything that Chibnall did. So we're right, at least for now, we're stuck with this idiot rewriting of the origin. Oh, no, she was always a woman. Yeah, sure she was. And William Hartnell wasn't the first Doctor. Yeah, sure he wasn't. And I like Joe. I like Joe. I forget her name.
Joe Grant.
Joe. What is it? No, not the companion.
I think isn't it Joe Grant? Is their last name?
Joe Grant is.
No, that's the companion. But I think
that was the companion.
I thought the actress is Joe Grant.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
I'm not remembering. Maybe somebody in the chat will, but I do like the older person of color that represented an earlier Doctor. I thought, as a character, I like her a lot. But my belief is to solve this problem, because another thing, it's not being referred to as season 15 or whatever. It's season 1. My suspicion is Ncuti Gatwa is a Time Lord, but a different Time Lord. And that way Tennant can represent the end of the classic through modern Doctor Who period, and Ncuti Gatwa is starting a new thing as a different Doctor. That's my theory.
Yeah. That's clever. That's kind of like Earth 1, Earth 2 Superman. You got the old one from the 40s with the gray hair, and then you got the other one, but then they fucked it all up with the Crisis. So
Joel Martin.
Joe Martin, thank you. Yes.
Joe Martin, yes.
I still think you can do a series and still keep the Timeless Children, but just have it be a different dimension.
I hope
it's an alternate universe, and they've done the alternate universes before.
Sure.
So it wouldn't be a problem. That way you can still maintain the continuity.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to retcon it. It just doesn't. It just
after 60 years, man, you don't have to be like, it's not the Bible, for Christ's sakes. It's just entertainment.
Yeah, but canon is important in Doctor Who, and especially given the solution of having other actors play the Doctor and showing that no, this is the same character from 63 on.
And they have ignored the fact that he's half human in the Doctor Who movie.
Right.
That has never been referenced ever again.
The Peter Cushing movie you're talking about?
No. This was the
McGowan.
Paul McGowan.
Yeah, the 90s movie with Paul McGowan.
Yeah, the Fox
movie. Yeah.
Fox TV movie. Yeah.
Where he's referred to, the Master says, like, the reason why he could stare into the eye in infinity is because he was half human. And it just, that has never been referenced.
No.
And if you go through the Capaldi era, where they go back to Gallifrey and to kind of an origins aspect of the Doctor, he was always Gallifreyan.
Of course. Yeah.
Him and the Master were both children in Gallifrey.
Yep, that is correct. So yeah, I mean, again, no, I think you're right. I think it is going to be like, and we never need to talk about this again. But I would like to see Joe Martin return in some capacity, if that wouldn't bother me, and Jodie Whittaker for that matter, in the right hands. But I do like that it's like, all right, let's give it a break. And listen, they can applaud themselves for 3 seasons of Jodie Whittaker all they want. There's a reason why we're going back to David Tennant for these 3 specials before we get to Ncuti Gatwa. And it's like, to get back the old audience, much like myself, that it's like, I'll keep tabs of what's going on, but people really suck. And they
it was a struggle. The DVR would keep taping them, and I'd sit there and feel guilty that they were piling up. I go, I really should try to watch these, and I would put them on in the background. And man, even the Dalek episode they did for Christmas like 2 years ago was so bad. It looks like they filmed it in my garage. It was like one Dalek, no sets, and it was like, did you even try? I mean, really, it was that the production was shitty. It was just like, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? So I mean,
absolutely. I do feel.
I'm very.
Go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say I'm very uneducated about the Doctor Who verse in terms of what's happening. So there's going to be 3 specials with Tennant now, and then there's a new Doctor. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the third special he'll regenerate into the new Doctor.
So they're all going to be on Disney Plus going from now on. Even the new Doctor.
Disney Plus signed a deal.
Yeah.
Only for the new stuff, man. And right now, good Lord, especially if you're not in England, there's a real you're jumping around trying to find Doctor Who. Mitch was just telling us, or rather, pardon me, Wayne was just telling us, Classic Who is currently on Tubi.
Yes.
Plus, you got it as well on BritBox. But for now, and I don't know if it ends at the end of the year or what's going to happen. For now, Max still has everything from Eccleston to Jodie Whittaker. Disney is going to have all the new stuff, starting with these Christmas specials, or 60th anniversary specials. But Wayne, do you have access to Tales of the TARDIS?
No.
Okay, and Mitch, if you don't know what Tales of the TARDIS is, and Franco, part of the 60th anniversary, they represented a bunch of key episodes of various Doctors, and they had Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy re-teaming up. Davison was with Tegan. Colin Baker was with, I can't remember right now.
Wasn't Perry?
Nicole Bryant.
Perry? Nicole?
Yeah, it was Nicole.
Perry.
Bryant.
Yeah.
And so Davison's was Tegan.
Was with Ace. He was with Ace.
And of course, Sylvester McCoy was with Ace. Yeah. And they're in a you can find the wraparounds. Because essentially, like, for example, in the Peter Davison Tegan one, they rewatch Adric, the death of Adric, Earthshot. Yeah. So you can go online on YouTube, at least unless they've yanked him down, and find the wraparound parts, so you can see all the new stuff. If you want, again,
that's what I saw. I saw the new stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, and it was great to see everybody, and that's one of the things I liked about the last episode of Jodie Whittaker's Power of the Daleks. Or Power of the Doctor, I forget which. Probably Power of the Doctor.
Power of the Doctor.
Yeah, but I mean, it was great seeing, because they had moments. Ace and Tegan were modern day and everything, and running around with Whittaker. But when they were in a moment of crisis, the older versions of the Doctors that were their Doctors show up, and they have a little conversation with them. And the same thing happens in Tales of the TARDIS. So it's really great. Yeah, as Gordon.
And they have a support group.
Yes.
They were all sitting around
Franco, that's like the best scene. If you want to blow off the whole thing and just get to the very end, there's like a companion support group of and even Ian Chesterton from the William Hartnell era is like 90 something, and he even shows up, which is fantastic. But Joe Grant is there, and Tegan and Ace and all these people, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. So yeah, they are, as Gordon Vidal says, in those Tales from the TARDIS, they're in what they call the memory TARDIS. And it's literally just them like sitting in chairs in a great TARDIS set, like about to watch an old episode.
And if you do want to see more or hear more of Joe Martin's Doctor, the Fugitive Doctor, it's on Big Finish. They have a couple of series on Big Finish right now.
Those are so good. Those what they call the wilderness years after McCoy's leaving, and with just the Paul McGann movie in between before you get to Eccleston, literally hundreds of Big Finish dramatizations with Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker. Totally redeems Colin Baker's time as the Doctor, because he really got screwed by a strike, and the guy in charge of the BBC didn't like Doctor Who, and they really screwed with him. So I mean, God, in particular, there's a great episode where Colin Baker's Doctor faces off to Davros, and it's fantastic. It's an excellent Davros story, and it's like they lean into the fun of Colin Baker's version of the Doctor rather than just always being pissed off. And so I liked it. I liked it.
He always reminded me of like the Charles Emerson Winchester of the Doctors. I'm like, I don't like this guy. He's pompous as an ass, But you found out it wasn't his fault. It was these other guys behind the scenes.
Right. Well,
sabotaging the show.
And like Jodie Whittaker, it's like, all right, a new Doctor. I give every Doctor a fair shake.
Jodie Whittaker's amazing actress. I watched her in that. What was the thing when she did with Tennant with the murder mystery in the little town?
Broadchurch.
And when she got announced, I said, "Oh my God, this is fantastic! She's a great actress. Can't wait to watch it." And then after the first couple episodes, it just went south and never came back. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I think the Kablam was the only one that I really liked. The one
I liked the one that they did
the Amazon one.
The one with India and Pakistan, they showed like the history of it. I'm like, oh, this is clever. You get to learn stuff, But
yeah. I liked the one with Chris Noth and Stephen Fry. That was kind of and again, like, we're gonna disrupt Unit. It's like, that's a bad idea. We like Unit. It's
the companion guy was cool too. The older fellow that kept calling her the Doc. I like that actor. I mean, again, it's not the actor's fault. They just had bad stories. That's all.
Well, and too many companions off doing their own thing. Oh, there goes my light. Doing their own thing, but they and it took away screen time from the Doctor. And it's just like too many companions, kids. When it was Davison with Tegan, Turlough, and Nyssa, the 4 of them were together, or the 3 of them that were together. You still got your fair share of moments with the Doctor, and it just
Do you think they run into the same thing that the Star Trek writers do? Because you have so many years of history that you try to encompass it all the time, and then you just suffer because you're trying to be respectful of hundreds and hundreds of TV episodes and this captain and that captain. And then at the end of the day, like, look, let's just make a good story, and people. That's why I thought Strange New Worlds was such a breath of fresh air the first season, because they didn't really have to worry so much about all the different, canon stuff, But and then the short treks, remember the ones where they had that Spock was in the elevator with number 1? That's what these Tales of the TARDIS sound like. It's like you could watch them. You don't really need to watch them. It's just kind of off to the side. Like, it's not going to really change anything.
Well, it was just a nice gift to longtime fans. And I mean, I'm always up for, here's another shitty Colin Baker episode, The Two Doctors, when Patrick Troughton was still there, and Fraser Hines and him came back as Jamie and the Doctor. And it's a lousy episode, but it's like, come on, man, they're there. There they are. Even the 5 Doctors, I don't know how well it holds up. That was the 20th anniversary special, but just the fact that Pertwee's back and Troughton is back, and the guy they got to be the William Hartnell Doctor was, sufficient. And I love David, I forget his name, who plays the William Hartnell version now. David Bradley
or Brinley?
It is Bradley. Nope, it's David.
Is the other guy James Hudnell? Is that who the other guy was?
James Hudnell's the comic book writer.
Oh, well, something like that.
But I don't know. Here are more comments, everybody. Let's see. James says, it's wonderful that Doctor Who feels like Doctor Who again. I often felt Chibnall's stories would just run out of steam. And Gore Vidal says, I've been enjoying the Paul McGann novels. The handful I've read. There are many. There are indeed. They're much darker than anything else. They're wonderful. And yeah, much like Colin Baker, I think Paul McGann was well served by both the novels and the Big Finish audios as well.
Hey, Mitch, what was the name of that person that you said?
Hudnell.
James Hudnell?
Close, Richard.
And is he Gavin, or is he the old man? Is he Graham, or?
Oh no, he's the Doctor.
Is he a comic book writer too?
He was the William Hartnell doctor for.
Yeah,
the
he was the
Right.
William Hartnell doctor, Richard
Yeah.
Herndel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
all right, there you go. Well done. Yeah, I mean, again, I'll be interested when, because I understand, and I'm beating the dead horse that Chris Chibnall is, but in a few years, I would love to have him do an interview and explain what he was trying to do, because it's not just us frustrated. Well, there were more than just a handful of us frustrated people. Whether the BBC wants to admit it or not, the ratings were dramatically down, and it's because this long-loved show got lousy.
Because, but again, he also said he wasn't going to go back to the old villains like the Daleks or the Cybermen. He said, "I'm not doing any of those stories." And what they did was they went back to them.
Yeah,
that's what
because that's
people
what
wanna
people
see.
tune in for. Yeah, it's like you got to have Klingons, you got to have Romulans, you got to have Ferengi, you got to have. That's why they're there. If they're not, it's just a different show. It's like, okay, it
Well,
is
and
what it is.
I'm all for creating new aliens and new threats, but
Mhm.
yeah, you do want to see,
Yeah, now and then, yeah.
So
Comic books. I mean, yeah. We just speaking of comic books, you read your news stories, but you got to have a Doctor Doom story in there. You got to have a Joker story every now and then because it pays homage to the old stuff that brought people there to begin with. You don't have to be repetitive every week, but now and then it's like, oh yeah, we get it. You like the Vulture, you like Sandman, you like
and
the
it's
old
and it becomes different because it's a different doctor facing them.
right.
So it
So-
is interesting. Well, how's he going to handle? How's she going to
Well,
handle?
I think there's an arrogancy because people like I want to make any job, not just TV. You always get the new guy to come in, the new boss. Everything the old way sucked. We're gonna do it my way because I'm new, and let me show you how talented I am. And it's just hubris, you just suddenly do it with the ego, and then after a while you realize, well, not everything sucked because it got us here to begin with. So let's
Yeah,
make a nice
Like-
balance.
Like for
But
me,
a lot
some of the
this
best.
stuff, yeah,
Yeah,
was
like for
gonna
me, some of the best of the classic episodes is when they went to Gallifrey
yeah,
because
And
you
they
got
met
to
the-
learn more about the Time Lords.
Yep.
Now I
And
know we
again-
can't do that now.
Well, that's the thing, man. And then Chibnall throws all that away, and
Yeah.
and it's just like Mitch. The problems with new Trek. Hey, guess what? One of the new crew members on Discovery, she's got a Trill symbiote, but she's a human, so she can't be a Trill like Trills are normal. Well,
Yeah.
then you just took away what's the most interesting thing about
Right.
it.
And that's the stuff we all learn as nerds that, I mean, it's not like we're going to get tested on it, but it gives that whole rich history that you become a fan of. And then when somebody shits on it and throws it out, you feel like, well, I guess I wasted my life on this. Huh?
Mario wants this, and I haven't watched this yet, and I'm happy to possibly try it out. But he says we all need to watch Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix. It's very good.
It's, he's right, because I don't like anime. And I saw the trailer for it and I said, oh, what in the hell is this? Because it looks so cool. I actually watched it. And I'm not an anime fan, even though I run an anime convention. But it was never my cup of tea. But that show he's talking about is actually really well done.
Okay.
So
Okay.
check it out.
James Bunt says Time Lords are Cybermen now. Even that seemed to be, if not abandoned, they had the two-parter or whatever, but then later with Whitaker, they showed Cybermen that weren't Time Lords. So I have no idea. I guess we'll find out when we see the Cybermen next. So, who knows? Who knows? But that is, the Davros thing is interesting. And again, I just think sometimes with representation, they overthink this shit too much.
Yeah.
It's like, just fucking relax.
See, I never thought Ironside was evil in the wheelchair.
No, I when you said that, I was thinking
Or Professor X. Like Professor X was evil because he's in a
Professor
wheelchair.
X. Uh-oh. Better get my helmet back.
But no, but that's true. That's what it's because it's the impression that all people, we don't want to give that because he plays an evil character.
Yeah, but the only person that would think that way would be a child. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that sounds like something like 5-year-old. Oh, so-and-so's got a wicked, a witch in a black hat. She must be evil. Well, it's because that's like babies' idea.
This new episode, Star Beast, did have a very much family friendly feel to it.
Yeah,
it did.
So,
Yeah. It was like a Christmas special. They
Yeah.
always used to, with every Christmas, when the last 10, 15 years they've been doing this, whatever, we would, it's Christmas time. You look forward to it. And they stopped doing it when the damn Jodie Whittaker shows came out. They go, we're not doing that anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know how many people build their year around the Christmas special? And then they moved it to New Year's Eve, which wasn't the same thing. And then nobody cared anymore. But now it's like, oh, look, we're doing the Christmas thing with Doctor Who again. So
I kind of wish they would have kept Neil Patrick Harris's involvement quiet.
Yeah,
because we know he's coming, and they really played it up hard in the trailers.
Yep.
And obviously, the Meep said that something about a boss. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming that's the Celestial Toymaker.
And that's part of the thing with him regenerating back to the 10th Doctor is there's someone in that 10th Doctor storyline that is going to be the big boss, and he's going to have to deal with it.
Oh, I assumed it
Oh
was.
no, that's what I'm assuming is he says there has to be a reason why I regenerated with this old face again. And talking about a boss, I think there's someone in those David Tennant years that's
there
going to
was
come
a
back.
guy. Remember, there was an Earth guy who was like this military guy, and he built this thing. It was the David Tennant episodes, and they brainwashed him at the end of it so he would forget. Oh, I can't remember that, but there's some.
Well,
if this is true, with Wayne saying there were strings of this like bad guy that they left dangling years ago, like he wanted vengeance against Doctor Who, but at the end they got like mind wiped, almost like a lobotomy.
Oh, I don't
So,
remember him. I remember the Master being.
No, it wasn't the
mind
Master.
wiped.
It was an Earth guy.
And also, I remember Tennant himself being mind wiped, and he had the pocket watch.
Uh-huh.
I don't
No,
know.
this guy, all
I think
remember
there's going to be something.
this guy had camo on. I remember he looked like a war, like a Rambo type character, and it was like, oh, and he was definitely from the Earth, and he was screwing with the unit. Shit, now I got to go look it up now.
I'm gonna have to find it.
Well, it could be Wayne just giving us a wild goose chase. A wild
No.
Canadian goose
I'm just saying. The doctor said there has to be a reason why I regenerated back like this.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I can think of, and they're mentioning about a boss,
or it's called storytelling, and they want to get you to keep watching every week. There is another. Oh shoot, we gotta wait 3 years to find out who the. Oh wait, it's Luke's sister. Really?
Well, we only have to wait.
It?
We only have to wait 2 weeks to find out about this. Catherine Tate was great.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I just love how loud she is, and just like, oi, like whenever she's pissed off.
I like when she sees him in the clothes. She goes, "Hey, mate, that outfit, you got to change up 35 years, but that's 15 years too old for it." And I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's been, oh shit, they're all in their 50s now. So that was pretty funny. He's not as thin as he used to be.
I like how tall Tennant's hair is too.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was getting crazy back then. Just before he left, it was becoming like a rooster.
Well, he's got Lyle Lovett hair currently. So
well, I can't wait to meet her granddad again. That old fella that was.
Well, no, but that's and I'm glad you brought it up, Mitch, because I forgot to. On the one hand, it's great that he's supposed that Wilfred is still alive, but the actor passed away.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So I don't know what I mean. I don't think we're going to see him. It was an interesting surprise.
No, they filmed it. There was behind the scenes. He was in a wheelchair with Catherine Tate and David Tennant.
Oh wow!
So, but then he died like a couple weeks after. He was like 93, but there was footage of it. That's why when they started saying he passed on, I go, oh, maybe he died before they could finish the scene.
Or they'll bring him in to see the third episode.
Yeah.
He was so great, and especially when there was the dread of you're going to hear a knock 3 or 4 times, whatever it was. 4 times. Yeah, 4 times, and it's Winfred, and it's like, oh man, or Wilfred, and it's Wilfred, like, oh, that poor little old man, he doesn't realize what's happening.
And plus, he was in the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movie, so he's got really weird connections to it all. He was in that Dalek invasion of the Earth back in '66, I think.
Apparently, the science advisor, the actress, has been in Big Finish episodes.
Oh,
with Paul McGann of all people. So not the same character though. But again, I like very positive character. She's a new science advisor. I'm the first science advisor. She's the 56th, which is very funny that it's been that many. But no, I'm excited. I'm like, oh, this is intriguing. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, James Bunt says Eve of the Daleks was Jodie's best episode, and it was a New Year's.
I think that's the one I didn't like.
I'd have to go back and watch it. I don't know, but again, all I could say is when I watch, I get frustrated. Not enough Doctor, way too much on the other companions, all doing their thing, and I don't know. I hated that. I hated all 3 years. There are shows like that you get frustrated and you keep tabs on it, but you stop watching. And I think this was a
Oh yeah.
love it. No. So anyway, there you go. I'm excited to see what happens in the next 2 episodes. And for Word Balloon fans, I'll be talking, although it's going to be very early in the morning to accommodate his time zone in Madrid, Spain. The great Pat Mills, who wrote the original Meep story, will be joining me very early morning on Word Balloon. So yeah, there you go, everybody. The man. I mean, I was thinking about asking Dave too, but Dave just drew the Meep.
Yeah.
I would imagine Pat has more to say about the creation of the character and the story and stuff. So they did tour the sets when they were shooting Star Beast, which is cool.
Yeah. I saw a picture of Gibbons with the Meep.
Yep.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was cool. That was cool. So there you go. On to Monarch, Godzilla, Legacy of Monsters, Monarch. Great Apple show. I had Matt Fraction on last week. Guys,
Yes, you got all the inside info.
I did. I got to be honest. I don't care. I didn't care about the Cranston movie or the other Godzilla movie or the Godzilla and Kong movies. Did not give a shit. And the only reason why I watched this show was because one of my good friends in comics, Matt, co-created it. And I was like, oh, thank God it's good. And it's really interesting. I love it. I think it's great. Have you all watched any of it?
All of it.
All of it.
All 3 eps?
Oh, yep.
Not all those Godzilla movies were bad. The King of the Monsters one was kind of cool. With the 11 or whatever her name was.
Oh yeah.
Millie Bob.
Yeah, from
Bobby
Stranger
Brown.
It's from Stranger Things. Yeah. Bobby
King
Brown.
Kong versus Godzilla sucked. It was so stupid. I mean, I was like, what is happening here? They're making holes in the earth and they can go from Hong Kong to where I'm like, how does this work? And
It's a hell of a subway system.
But
Right?
but they talk about that in the Monarch series is how do these monsters not appear? It's because of these tunnels.
They get I know. It's
And I love when Bill, the guy from the 50s, goes teleportation, and Wyatt Russell's like, shut up.
yeah.
What? It's just a theory. No, I love it. I love all the characters. I think they're really, really interesting. Both what's happening in the past and what's happening modern day. Yeah, I adore it. I also think they've done a good job to show kaiju monsters on a television budget.
Yeah. That snow thing was awesome. The snow mole or whatever you want to call it. This week, I was like, that thing's one of the best looking monsters I've ever seen.
Oh, even on the ship, the battle ship in the jungle.
Yep.
Oh
And
yeah,
the monster on
yeah.
top of that.
The bird thing. Yeah.
And Godzilla even showed up a couple times in the
Yeah, he
Godzilla
did.
series.
Went right up his back. That was a cool shot. They went
Yeah.
right up the whole spine. I was like, oh, Godzilla, yeah.
But then they blew him up. Sorry,
Yeah,
spoiler.
they did.
But I like the human stories that are happening. I really do. I think they're interesting, and I love the Japanese actors, and I love the American actors. I think it's excellent.
Now,
I like the evacuation route signs.
When they, when,
Yes,
they,
yes.
when they blew him up, though, did they really blow him up?
I'm betting no.
Yeah, they
It was
did.
just
He's
a
not going to
flesh
show up
wound.
again.
Yeah, never
Ever.
again. Of course not.
No, that's where he gets his radiated fire from because he got messed up. Man. Yeah.
And it is so cool. If people haven't, forgive me for.
Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, you think that's what gave him all that electricity
Yeah.
on his spikes? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
He absorbed the atom bomb stuff, so they created their own monster.
And if I remember correctly, in the first movie, they talk about they dropped a bomb on him and it did nothing.
Yeah.
I love that Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell are playing the same character. And really Matt went into great detail of how intrigued they were to play the same character versus what they were being offered, because they wanted to do something together and all they kept getting were father-son things. And it's like, we know that relationship. Give us something interesting.
So I think we talked about it before it was airing, but we talked about, isn't Kurt Russell's character like 90-something years old or something like that? And, and they addressed it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is going to go somewhere. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I was trying to think of who was Hiroshi. I was like, wait, is that his grandfather? Or is that the kid's? Who is he talking about? How old is he? He's from the 50s and now they're now. So what is that, their father or their grandfather?
It's the son. The father of the children is the son of the two scientists.
That's yeah, okay. Because I was
So
like,
yeah, but Russell's been juicing up on the kaiju juice to stay.
Yeah, that. I mean, yeah, there's got to be some explanation of why a guy that's in his 90s looks like he's in his 60s.
when he pees,
and
it's
running around.
irradiated, just like
Oh,
Godzilla.
He's doing kaiju cocaine.
He's got kaiju pee pee.
No,
He's
probably.
snorting it.
Just like Jerry in the latest Rick and Morty episode, or 2 episodes ago.
I haven't watched it.
And by the way, Rick and Morty this season, I'm glad you mentioned it, Wayne. It's so good. It's so good this season. They just keep doing it, man. They're killing it once again. But real fast about Monarch and everything, that series. It's like I love watching Kurt Russell because essentially it's Jack Burton at like 90 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I think
And that's what you said in the interview too, or what Matt said in the interview is that he was able to get the Russell's voice properly, and that's why he loved working with Matt.
Cinema Quirks says I joined late. I don't know if you've already talked about it, but I love Doctor Who. The more I rewatch it, the more I think it's kind of lame. It felt like a middle season episode. Well, I'll tell you, man, I hear what you're saying because initially I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. And now that I've had a few days, it's like, all right, first of all, it is the first part of a 3-part story.
Right.
I think it did enough to service, hey, we're back, and putting everybody together again. It
was also a good done in one type of episode because it kind of ended and
Sure. But it did. I understand. Maybe this is where cinema's coming from, and forgive me if I'm imprinting on you, dude, or woman. But I have to admit the overuse of, "Hey, doctor, you're a man. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about." Annoyed me a little, and it's like again, it's a small quibble. Let's see where the story goes. I think it was okay for a first episode back, and hey, sure, member berries galore, but that's fine. This show needed it really badly because, again, I would be very curious if they started with Shutigatwa, what the response would be. So, Cinema Quirk goes, I'm a man. Come on, John. I've had you on my channel before. I'm sorry, buddy. I apologize. All right.
Make no assumptions, even though we've met you.
Exactly.
Now, have everybody seen the trailer for Godzilla -1?
No.
You know, that's supposed to be out this week.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, sneak previews Wednesday, and it opens on Friday.
Yeah,
But
okay, because I saw it said the 29th. I'm like,
it has a really good effect for the atomic breath that the scales pop up one at a time and start glowing.
Oh, fun.
It is. I can't wait to see it. I'll be
You
seeing it
guys are
Friday.
nerds. Oh my God.
like
Oh, come on.
Wolverine.
It's like all of a sudden you hear the boom, 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 boom. And then you hear that. Then you hear the blast. But you don't get to see the blast, but you hear it.
I haven't seen a Toho Godzilla film since the 90s. And it
They're
was
all on Max right now.
I have them on the Criterion Collection over here.
Yeah. No, when I'm bored, I go to watch them on Max. You can only take them in small doses. I can't do a marathon because I'm like, whoa, this is really, really rubbery, you know.
No, but again, Matt went into detail how Toho worked with Legendary on Monarch and on the Legendary films. It's interesting, man. No, I'm cool with it. Cinema
Godzilla's everywhere right now. DC's got the best book that DC's doing right now is the Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. Marvel's reprinting the Godzilla stories from back in the 70s and such. There's another Godzilla book on the shelves. I don't know who's doing it. I don't think it's Image or somebody, but there's another one I see out there.
Could be
IDW. Yeah.
IDW. Okay, so there's a lot of Godzilla. And then he's in a movie and a TV. I mean, this is like the year of Godzilla right now. What's going on out there?
Cinema says, I do have to say, it's kind of a plus now that I'm thinking of it. I'm surprised how sucked in I was that Tenet returned as if he never left. I agree. And he also says the Godzilla -1 trailer is so good to the point that my mother, who hates sci-fi, thinks it looks good too. That's good to hear, man. No, I'm well, and again, I think all the companies have learned the lesson of when back in 1999 when the X-Men movie came out, and it's like, hey, we're going to be featured in TV Guide, and we're going to give you a scene that unless you're reading Marvel Comics, you have no idea what the hell's happening. And it's like, no, man, everybody's jumping in, and I don't blame them. Yeah. And again, I've said this before on the show. one of my good friends in radio is a massive Godzilla fan and had been getting bootlegs when we worked together in the 90s, VHS bootlegs of the Japanese movies. So, that's, like I said, that's the last time I've seen any of those. But I think they're great. I'm glad that Toho still does what they do. And I love that they combined practical rubber Godzilla's outfit with CGI.
It's a shame that Universal can't adopt the same thing Toho does, because they've grown over 50, 60 years of Godzilla movies.
70.
And then Universal, you're just stuck with those, 30s to 1940s, and that's about it. And they just keep rehashing them and rehashing them.
I don't know what the solution is for Universal, because on the one hand, and I think we've talked about this before, I really wish they would just accept the fact that for the Frankenstein monster, the best aesthetic is that Karloff, Glenn Strange look. You could get away with other things for Dracula. And I would say the same thing, that Chaney's Wolfman, rather than giving us just a wolf, is a better, the Benicio del Toro sucked that movie. And it's like, go back to these these classic looks, because I think that's what made them great.
They were very soap opera stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I got to cure myself, but I can't, and this and that. And it was just like a big soap opera with monsters.
Take the two movies that Whale did, Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, and they're classics.
Yeah.
They're very good stories.
Yes.
Yeah, but then you look at the Coppola De Niro Frankenstein movie, it's just a waste of money and talent. And then the Dracula one wasn't so bad, the Bram Stoker, but it was over the top with what's his name?
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman,
yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's a simple adventure story, but it went way over the. I'm like, what are you doing? Keanu Reeves was in it too. Now that I remember,
Winona Ryder,
Winona Ryder,
Jonathan Harker, and
Campbell, I think, was in it too. The Rocketeer was in that.
Oh, and Hannibal Lecter was in it. He was Van Helsing.
Right. He's
Anthony
Hopkins. Yeah.
I'd rather watch the Frank Langella one than that one, to be honest with you, even though it's kind of corny, but it was like, they did it.
Hey, you cannot go wrong with an Italian vampire. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, if you want to watch Langella, watch him as Skeletor. He is amazing as Skeletor.
Masters of the Universe, sure.
Yep. The only redeeming part of that movie was Langella. He loved playing it from what I've read. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he did. Watch the Master of the Universe, any of the documentaries on it where they have Langella, and he'll talk about how he made sure with the mask and everything that he could emote. Oh my God, he just loved playing the character.
See, I met him in a men's room in New Haven, and it's tarnished my views of Frank Langella. Not that he tried anything on me, but it's true. We were at Brussels, French restaurant. He was a jerk.
Well, that's too bad.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, Frank Langella. And then I'm like, wow, what a jerk you
are. When he did Deep Space Nine, it's like, all right, I love this guy. Cinema Quirk says Guillermo del Toro is making a Frankenstein movie. I'm very excited because he's the king of modern monster films. Yeah.
He would be. The Shape of Water was a good
creature.
Yeah. Well, and even Nightmare Alley was a great movie, I think. His remake of Nightmare Alley.
Oh, with Bradley Cooper? That was him? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's Del Toro, sure.
Yeah.
No, Del Toro gets it. He's like our age, and he's influenced by the same stuff. And yeah, isn't it interesting, man? Shape of Water wins Best Picture.
I did, yeah.
I can't think of the last time I've seen it streaming or even airing somewhere.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie since it came out. That's weird that you say that.
It's Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Huh.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. So regardless, I'm on the ride for Monarch. I think it's terrific. And I'm so happy for Matt.
It's nice when you watch an episode and you're going, I have to wait.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right. It was like The Mandalorian when it first started. It's like, oh no, I gotta wait till next week.
Yeah, I'm almost kind of a little disappointed that I'm watching it week to week rather than it's all out and binging it. Yeah.
Well, that's the way to do it, though, honestly, because it keeps you coming back.
Absolutely. But there's times where like I'm watching something and I'm like, oh, I want to watch another episode. Like, I just watched Solar Opposites because I had missed it when it came out in August, and I watched all the episodes just because I want to watch another one. And then there's times where I'm like, okay, I need a break and I need to stop for a little bit. But I like the week to week more than
Yeah,
than
because
anything
you
else.
don't really enjoy it though. I mean, if you just like binging, you're like, oh, I'm finished, just because you want to get to the end, and then you
Right.
miss a lot, and then you're like, I don't want to go back and rewatch it. So it's like, yeah, I'm moving on.
Cinema asks if we'll be talking Doctor Who for the rest of the 60th specials. I certainly hope so. That's my intent. I
We
wanted to
got
give
no
everybody I wanted to give everybody a break because I mean we were so week to week with Trek and everything.
Ugh.
And it's like, all right, everybody needs a break. Plus, Thanksgiving and everything. So I wanted to give you guys a minute to recharge. But no, I think there's only these three, and then I don't think Shitty Gatwa's run starts till February, right, Wayne?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fine. Meanwhile, another show that I wanted to mention, and I know Franco's not caught up, and I don't know where you guys are status wise, but season 4 for All Mankind, again, without spoiling, has been just fantastic. It is, I'm sorry, again, I remember the original Apollo program when it was happening, and this is exactly what I've always wanted and we've had things like Gravity and some other movies, and The Martian certainly is an amazing movie that I continue to rewatch whenever it's on TV. But that said, it's like, this is so great to see with today's special effects, a really good astronaut in space show. And it is so good. I like the character stories, but I love just, the idea of For All Mankind. I think it's one of the best alternate universe stories.
Sort of like the Man in the High Tower.
I was going to say the
Man in the High Castle. Man in the High Castle, I was excited for, and I watched that. I watched it week to week or binge to binge when it came out, and then when I got to the end, I was so pissed off at that show. Yeah. It had such great potential, great start, and I was just so pissed off. I just started season 2 of For All Mankind, and I definitely liked first season a lot, and looking forward to it. It starts off really well.
It's up there with like the Earth to the Moon, the Tom Hanks documentary, because there's only so many. God knows I've seen every space picture there has been, but that Earth to the Moon, For All Mankind, that the worst one was that Right Stuff Disney special that was on.
Yeah, it was
and stuff. Yeah, it was like
a little boring. A little boring.
I was like, how is this boring? You know what was really boring? The First Man with
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, we saw that in the theaters. I was so juiced to see the Neil Armstrong story because I had read the book. Man, that was 3 hours or I'll never get back in my life. I was like, this. Whoa. I mean, Neil Adams, he was stoic character. You don't know a lot about him. What is it? So you think you're going to learn something. You didn't learn anything. It's like, nope. Not even Gary Cooper-ish. It's just vanilla. It was just the milk
something was missing. Yeah, something was missing in
boring.
That.
Yeah, I was like,
I
wow,
did like Hidden Figures.
Yeah,
about the,
I like
the
that.
mathematicians and stuff. I thought that was a terrific.
That was a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but,
I'm really
the right
thinking.
stuff. I'm surprised they never redid it the proper way because I was always told that the actors did not like that movie, which I don't know.
Right Stuff, the original Philip
Kaufman? Yeah, I spoke to Lance Henriksen and I can't remember the other actor, and they told me about how they never liked the way it came out. They thought they made the astronauts look like clowns, and I got a podcast interview with Henriksen, and he just goes on, and I thought it was a great movie, and I was telling him how much I enjoyed it, and he's like, no, they made those guys look like a bunch of circus clowns and rodeo clowns, and it was a horrible movie. I'm like, whoa, okay, sorry. But
go back and Frank Black with him in
Millennium.
Yeah.
Well, he had to stop doing that show, right? Because it really screwed him up.
Yeah, he did. That 3 seasons, that was the end of it.
Yeah, that's right. Chicorojo says the astronauts and their spouses didn't like the Right Stuff either. Well, that I can understand.
Yeah.
And, and again, I think Hanks did a bit of a better job with the Mercury 7 and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, I lost an astronaut too. Was Gordon Frank, no, the guy with the
Frank Borman.
Borman, yeah, he just passed away.
Yeah.
That's the last of the Apollo guys, wasn't he? The last Apollo astronaut.
Well, Gene Cernan.
Oh no, you still got Buzz Aldrin. Sorry, duh.
Yeah, and Gene Cernan too.
Yeah,
but yeah, Borman was the commander for Apollo 8, and He's on. I want to say he was on a second Apollo mission. I could be wrong. And of course, he was president of Eastern Airlines for years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So no, I'm a again, those the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo astronauts to me are incredibly interesting people. And
Yeah.
I think you can still find it on YouTube. Turner Classic, or not, TNT rather, adapted Deke Slayton's book Moonshot, and Barry Corbin from
Oh yeah.
Northern Exposure was the narrator, but they had all the living astronauts, and man, what a great documentary. Fantastic. And really, really getting into their heads, especially guys like Scott Carpenter. And, it's such a great thing. And yeah, Shepard was still alive.
Yeah, but didn't Deke Slayton, he couldn't go because he had like a heart murmur or something?
That's right. But ended up on Apollo Soyuz.
Oh, that's right.
Because they re-diagnosed him and stuff, and it was like, all right, he can do this. And that's awesome.
That's okay. We'll be all right. Just look the other way. Don't worry about it.
Well, and the fact, hey man, the fact that John Glenn, a senior citizen, was able to go back in space. So now that's a guy I got to meet. Was Senator Glenn at the U.S. Capitol pre 9/11. This was in the 90s. Could not have been nicer. And he's like, "Are you from Ohio?" I'm like, "No, I'm from Illinois." He goes, "Well, it's all right. I'll shake your hand anyway."
No, he sent I got an autographed book upstairs for my kid because we wrote to him when he was there, and it said, "I want to be an astronaut." It's a kid's book. He wrote to Spencer, John Glenn, because it was a public service, so he didn't charge him money. It wasn't like about you wrote to him and he would write you right back. And John Glenn, so
he was
Chuck Yeager too. I got Chuck Yeager's autograph.
Wow,
he didn't charge for it. You just wrote him a letter, and he sent you the thing back because he said it was a government job when he was doing that, breaking the sound barrier. He wasn't, a movie star or something. Your tax dollars at work, basically.
I love it. No, I love it. And I don't know why with the shuttle, I never really warmed up to the astronauts.
Yeah.
It became
like truck drivers.
Yeah, it became too common. And even the space station, as cool as the International Space Station is, and I love that NASA has like a camera outside the space station as it's orbiting. So you can kind of literally like get that kind of perspective. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's like you got to get back.
Carl Sagan used to come on the Tonight Show and get you all juiced about the Voyager stuff. And what's his name? Tyson does a good job, but yeah, it's not
the same.
It's not exciting. If they had landed some satellites or some probes into Titan or some of the moons of Saturn or Jupiter, I'd be all over that. Like, yeah, let's go to Europa, but they don't. They pull back on it.
And that's again why I love For All Mankind, because it's like, no, man, they are working in the solar system. And it's interesting. Oh my God.
Again, you guys should watch The Expanse.
Yes.
If you really want to get into space and politics between the Rimmers, the outer Rimmers, and the inners.
Yep.
No, I never watched it.
Oh, it's really good.
Did we wrap up Gen X back in
Gen V?
Gen V, pardon me. Thank you, Gen V. Did we wrap that up, that storyline? I don't think
I haven't watched it yet.
Man, did you finish it, Mitch?
I did. It got better because at first I was put off by it, but it was a solid landing. So,
yeah, and I'm curious to see how it will dovetail into the next boys season, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what a great show.
It's like a dark New Mutants. It's like what the New Mutants movie should have been,
Yeah.
And I kept saying it was the boys' version of the Teen Titans, essentially.
Right. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
No, I think both analogies are apt. I think that's good. Star Trek news. I read an article that there's going to be a novel coming out at the end of February that will explain. Yeah, you poor. I was going to say, man, I'm sure it hurt. I should get a headache after wearing that helmet after a while. For the audio audience, Mitch was wearing a Magneto helmet that was very good. But there's going to be a Star Trek novel at the end of February that is all about Seven of Nine. Although the title of the novel is another Star Trek Picard, because it's in that continuity. But it's going to take us from when Voyager comes back to Earth to Seven joining the Fenris Rangers, and it's going to explain that whole backstory. And it's David Mack, not comic book David Mack, Star Trek writer David Mack, who's a very good Star Trek novelist. So that's cool. Franco, did you finish Coda? The Star Trek.
No, I'm still in the first book.
Okay.
I just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah, you're busy.
I did catch up on Quantum Leap though, and loving it. I'm loving the second season.
Me too. I admit, and again, you got to accept the show they give you rather than the show you want. I really was hoping Bakula was going to come back at the end of the first season and be part of the second season story. But I do like where they're going with the story, and I think it's been very, very good.
Nope. Yeah, maybe he'll show up eventually, but I do
Maybe.
like I like the twist and the turn they gave it for season 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it reminded me of Alias when she lost a couple years of memory and stuff. And yeah, no, that's okay. And that guy is he's great. He's fun. You're rooting for that guy, just like you rooted for Sam.
Yeah.
And I like how they're intertwining previous stories, and I can see the blonde in another Leap, maybe a few years from now.
Yep.
Well, that's well, again, spoiling stuff, but that's his love story now because you know his other lady is gone now, basically.
Allison.
Lady.
Yep. What else, boys?
Marvels. I saw the Marvels.
Oh yeah, please, Mitch. By all means, tell me what have you all? Because I have not seen it. But feel free, guys. Don't worry about.
Out of 33 Marvel movies, it's the 33rd one in my book.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That bad?
Well, maybe with the Eternals. It's just hard for me to realize this is the same company that 4 years ago, was it, when the Endgame and all that came out, that we were so juiced and everybody was screaming and you couldn't get enough of the Marvel stuff, that they've gone so far the other way. It's almost like a comedy movie now. It's like if Mel Brooks made a Marvel movie, that would have been
History of the Marvels.
It's wacky. It's goofy. I'm like, really? Okay, I guess. All right.
I liked it. There's something in my brain I just can't. And I like her. I like Brie Larson. I just can't get past her portrayal of Captain Marvel. It feels so
wooden
to me.
Yeah.
It really does. However, the girl I don't know her name, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yep.
She just lights up every scene that she's in.
Yep.
She's got such great personality. She steals the show in every scene that she's in. And if you haven't watched the Miss Marvel TV show,
I have.
Do yourself a favor and go watch it.
I
like that show a lot.
Yeah, it's very good.
I thought it was going to just be her doing like a hero worship thing with Captain Marvel, and I thought that was going to be great. You know what I mean, like a buddy movie like that. But then they threw the Proton character, the other
Monica Rambeau. I liked her.
Right.
Yeah,
but it was just like maybe it's just too much. You're hoping that people. And I said to Ordway too. We saw the movie. I said they really are hoping for the hardcore audience because you really had to watch Ms. Marvel. You had to watch WandaVision. Not that we don't, but you just assume too much when you do a movie like that, and then you can't be surprised when it doesn't do well.
I thought they did a really good job of bringing those two in, even if you knew nothing about the Miss Marvel TV show or the Scarlet Vision show. Go ahead.
No, no. I'm going to concur with what Franco said because my friend went to see it with me, the Marvels, and she did not see Miss Marvel.
And she understood what was happening?
And she understood what was happening, and she loved it. She thought it was one of the better Marvel movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she really enjoyed the interaction of the characters.
So slapsticky and so like humor. I was like, wow, there's no
mind that
threat to it, you know? I was
I've made this. Forgive me, Mitch. I didn't mean to step.
Oh, go ahead.
My thing is, and maybe I know I've talked about it on when we've done the show. I just think that the powers that be at Marvel and that the people that are running the MCU are doing the same thing they did between Iron Man and Endgame, and they think, well, we've got the right formula. We can stretch it out. All this stuff. The two problems. One is not having those frontline Avengers. It's just like in the comics when Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor all step away, and you got Dr. Druid in the Avengers and some of these other runs.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yeah, don't
So
do
you
that.
don't want a Dr. Druid movie? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, man. I mean, and that's kind of I think what we're getting
No, I
with a
agree.
lot of Phase 4 and Phase 5, and again, I think they're taking their time and
Yeah.
assuming people are connecting the dots, and it's like, I'm sorry, these characters are not compelling enough.
No, I
to
I said
draw movies.
as a kid when you'd go to the spinner rack before like comic shops, and if you went in there and on the shelves or the racks there was just Shang-Chi and a couple of these other characters, you'd be like, I'll wait. Maybe I'll read a DC
Well,
book.
there's a reason. There's a reason they put Spider-Man on the cover. Guest starring Spider-Man. Guest starring Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
those are the ones that were selling the books, not it was like Marvel team up. I don't know what they're doing.
There's a reason why Batman's in every DC comic that comes out.
Yeah, and Wolverine was in all of them. That's the people want to see that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and the
Well, and
Skrulls, I was gonna say the Skrulls are in this, and I was like such a fan of the whole Kree Skrull thing and what's gonna happen. And now they're just like, yeah, it's Skrulls. I'm like, dude, that was
I thought that was a wasted. Yeah.
they should have done something, or they should have waited to the Fantastic Four movie to really do something with the Skrulls, because those are like a vital element of Marvel lore. To just dismiss them like that,
Paul
I like
Giamatti
that.
as Dr. Druid.
I like Chikaro's casting. Yeah, Paul Giamatti as Dr. Druid. Sure, why not? He also says the MCU may be getting mediocre, but at least they're getting released. Warner Brothers under David Zaslav is just throwing away their films or letting other companies distribute them. Well, but listen, man. For better or for worse, they made these movies, and with the exception of Batgirl, we're getting Blue Beetle, we're getting the Flash. We got Shazam 2.
Did you hear the controversy with the Acme movie, the Wile E. Coyote John Cena starring movie?
Please tell me.
Yeah, so they had this slated with John Cena. It's the Acme Wile E. Coyote thing.
Yes,
they shelved it.
Yeah.
They pulled the plug on it and said they weren't going to release it. They got so much outcry and backlash that they're now going to. They're going to go ahead and release it. So it makes me wonder what they're actually doing over there. And I did see the Blue Beetle movie. It was okay. It was fun. I'm glad I didn't go to the theater to see it.
Okay.
And from what I understand, it was originally supposed to be a max release.
Yeah, it was.
And then they put it out in theaters. So I'm like, I could probably see why.
Well, the Cena Wile E. Coyote movie, I remember, and I'll tell you off the air why I remember, was originally going to be Bugs Bunny and The Rock, and it was going to be called What's Up, Rock, which I thought was a great idea.
That's a good title, actually.
And I wonder if, because of what happened with Black Adam, that Warner's like, we don't want to be in the business with Rock anymore, and that's why they shifted to Cena. I think that's interesting, and I'm really glad
that's all well and good, but this happened just a couple of weeks ago.
I understand.
The film's been done. I think the film's done, and they're like, no, we're going to pull it. Yeah,
this was a couple of years ago where I heard about this potential thing, and again, we were talking about it off the air, and I don't mind saying it on the air. I believe that Discovery is trying very, very hard to sell the Warner Brothers assets.
I believe it.
I don't think they want to be in the Warner Brothers business. Jikuro says Acme versus Coyote is only getting shopped around after the backlash. All of the Looney Tunes on Max is getting removed. Yeah, again, and that doesn't. Man, I'm bummed that if it's all, I was hoping they'd still cherry pick some of the classics. But again, yeah, these I get it, because streaming this stuff is probably a cost that if it's not being used, why is it up there?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is lousy. It is.
Again, there's more money in licensing.
I was gonna say HBO used to do so well years ago. Remember when they just had The Sopranos and Sex and the City, and they had these like good series that people would watch, and that's really they had. I mean, they'd show a movie here and there, but now it's like a free for all over there. I don't know what the hell is on HBO.
I do think the things that are still being made are high quality. Again, my guilty pleasure, as I've told you guys, amidst all this sci-fi that some I've seen, some I haven't seen. Meanwhile, I'm hanging on every episode of the Julia Child show that's on Max. It's in the second season. They put out 4 episodes. Half the new season is out. It is fucking fantastic. David Hyde Pierce and BB Newworth are supporting actors on the show. And I loved the Julia movie that Meryl Streep and Amy Adams made. This is really all about Julia Child, and Also being a broadcast nerd, it's about the very, very early days of public television in the early 60s. It's outstanding. And ChemDog agrees. He says Julia's a great show. Yeah, man. It's funny. It's nice. It's just such a nice watch every Thursday. And I get more excited for that than I do some of the other shows that are being released weekly.
What do you think of all the news that came out with James Gunn releasing the cast for Superman? I mean, they're trying to generate buzz for this because they got a long
that
wait.
cast looks fantastic. I gotta tell you, it really does.
Although it looks a bit overloaded to me.
Go for Bear.
You know what's so funny? I had a guy complain to me about Miss Teschmacher. He goes, "Oh, did you see who they cast for it?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That looks nothing like Valerie Prime. How can you have Miss Teschmacher look like that?" I go, "Can I tell you something, pal? Miss Teschmacher is not in the real comic books. That's a movie creation." He's like, "What?" Like, so you
who
think
did they cast?
Some actress, but he was all mad that Valerie Prime
clear.
had the oomph,
Well,
but,
she didn't have the oomph. God bless her.
Yeah, but I was trying to tell him that. He's like, "This is not the real Superman." I'm like, "Chief, you don't even know what you're talking about because he's not even in the comics. So shut the fuck up." They get nuts about stuff they don't even know what they're talking about. I go, "Guys,
yes.
you
Well,
don't know what's happening."
it's the Muggle, observation.
Everybody's an expert.
Yeah. They're so ingrained in their own head.
I know, and they get mad about it. I'm like, Miss Teschmacher was good in the first movie. The Superman 2, she was in it for 2 seconds.
Well, don't tell him about the Superman Returns Teschmacher with that's
Teschmacher. Hold on, zooming in. What's her name?
It's Sarah Sampaio.
Boy, oh boy.
So in the Superman Returns with
I was Parker Posey.
But did you tell him about that? He would have lost his
and she was
mind about that.
Was she? Yeah, that was Miss Teschmacher.
No, it wasn't. No, she wasn't Miss Teschmacher. No,
she was a different character. Huh. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't even think she was Mercy from the cartoon. No, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Mercy was a creation of the Bruce Timm story and the Paul Dini. So it's like every iteration of Superman adds a little bit more to the lore. Don't worry about it. As long as he comes from Krypton and he does true justice and all that, that's all you want. The rest of it's all superfluous. You don't need to have.
You know what I'm looking forward to seeing? Argyle next year. It's a new Matthew Vaughn movie.
Oh, right.
What's it about?
Yes.
It's about this author. She writes spy novels.
Yeah.
But the spy novels, when she writes the fiction, actually happens.
That's with Henry Cavill and that whole cast, the big cast.
Oh, I did see a trailer for that. Yeah.
Romance of the Stone meets James Bond type.
Yeah.
And this cat is going to be the star of the show.
Who is?
The cat. There's this cat. Her cat is going to literally be the star of the show.
You know what's weird? I saw the trailer for that like back in May or something or June. I don't know what happened.
I know it was a few months ago. So yeah. Oh God, what was I going to say before Argyle? Oh, I'm 3/4 of the way done with the Voices from Krypton book, which is this great oral history of Superman. And right now they've slightly rejiggered the timeline in terms of what they cover. I had just read the cartoons, the Justice League and the Superman Adventures cartoon.
Yeah.
But also then now I'm into the
Smallville.
They already covered Smallville, but then they went back to the 90s and did first the Kevin Smith, John Peters, Nick Cage movie.
Superman Lives.
All the background on that. And now I'm reading about the J.J. Abrams attempt as well, because you remember he was going to do the Superman movie for a minute, and Anthony Hopkins was going to be Lex Luthor, and Krypton never exploded, and Luthor, it turned out in JJ's script, was going to be a Kryptonian. A lot of weird kind of things. Jose Morales. For All Mankind is my addiction binge TV. I just started to watch it. I'm on season 2. Is it as good as the first season? Yes, it only gets better. And I absolutely adore this show. And the guy, Joel Kilmade or whatever, the guy who played
Kinnaman,
yeah. He's his character is still in season 4 and is an older man because it's 30 plus years after.
He's getting up there, though. I was like, he's still in the space program. He must be in his
Well,
70s, right?
It's set in the early 2000s, and you would think he's probably in his late 60s or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it's great. It's great. I love it. So
He
I'm
was,
loving that.
He was Flag in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
He was RoboCop. He was in the.
Oh, that's
Killing.
right. He was in that RoboCop remake.
Totally forgot he was RoboCop. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a
Haley
series
Jo-
called The Killing. It's a remake of a Norwegian TV series. Really good.
Yeah, and it's a good show because I love the graphic novel. I'm very, very excited. Yeah, that's I got to watch that. That's cool. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of catch up, and then of course, and then I'm excited. Next week is Slow Horses on Apple TV.
Whoa! Catching up is Mr. Franco's.
Yeah, sorry, don't steal that.
Adorable. All right, thank you. That was certainly worthy of an interruption. Thank you, Wayne. But yeah, I am catching up, but not with Franco. I'm catching up with other sci-fi TV. So yeah.
Franco's got some kind of new book out. Something about a cauldron. I saw a post.
Who has a new book?
Oh, as the cauldron churns is something I'm doing on Patreon. Yeah, it's it's gonna be a book eventually, but I'm doing the whole concept on my Patreon. So I'm designing the characters, creating the story. Everything's going to be put up on Patreon. So if you want to join the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Franco.
Well, I hope before next week I will watch Blue Beetle, so we can talk more about it.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah. I mean, we can exactly.
Ooh.
Scarab. I hope nobody minds.
It could.
Jose, we just mentioned The Killer on Netflix.
The Killing. Oh, sorry, The Killer. No, it was on AMC. Was The Killing?
Oh,
it was a series dealing with a killing in a small town. And corruption with the police force.
I thought you were talking about The Killer on Netflix.
No, The Killer is the Michael Fassbender.
Yes,
that's right. That's it. Did you see the trailer for Madam Web?
Yes,
I did.
Yeah.
What is this?
Man, again, yeah. When Sony is left to its own devices,
right?
We get Madam Web and we get Morbius.
Craven the Hunter. You got all these
yeah. It's like good luck. Good
luck.
luck.
It's like, oh no.
Crap.
Far from the formula.
Crap. Well,
but the problem is they've made money on that Venom movie, so they think, oh, how hard can this be? Yeah, Venom's not the greatest movie ever, neither's the second one. I'm like, but it made money. So that's
Ken Dog says he's excited for the Fall Guy movie next year.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, we got Aquaman in a couple weeks. I bought tickets. I bought 3 tickets. So
totally forgot that Aquaman is coming out at Christmas. Did they push it forward or no?
No, December 21st. I got tickets Thursday night because Christmas is on a Monday. So this is the big push for the weekend. They want to get people out there.
Have you guys seen the trailer for Rebel Moon?
Yes. That's what's his name? Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder's new movie.
The big tall guy that was at my show is the bad guy. He plays Pumpkin Jack or something like that. He was the robot in the Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ned 8. Remember the big yellow robot? Anyway, and he was in the New Mutants. He was the smiling man, that really creepy looking thing. He's the bad guy in this. He was telling me all about it. He's like, oh, wait till this movie comes out. I'll be huge. I'm like, yeah, but too bad it comes out after Terrificon. But it looks good. It looks good. So, hey, I'm sad. I want to watch that Eddie Murphy Christmas movie. This is the state of mind I'm in. I'm like, oh, Eddie Murphy's doing a Christmas movie. Yeah.
Well, it's a good cast. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, good or bad.
It's Diana Ross's daughter's in it with them. I'm like, I didn't know.
Well, one from Blackish, right?
Yeah.
And Robin Thede too, who's she's on that Black Lady sketch comedy HBO show. She's one of the main actors on that, and she was on the Nightly Show with the guy that used to be on the Daily Show, and then they gave him
Jon
his own.
Stewart?
No, the black gentleman.
Yeah.
And I love his podcast.
Larry
Wilmore. Thank you.
Larry Wilmore.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert's appendix exploded?
What exploded on
Stephen Colbert's out this week. He had an exploded appendix.
Oh my God! I hope he's okay. Jesus.
Well, he's out for the week.
Of course he is. My God, that could be fatal. That's amazing.
And they were saying, and I love how they go. And it's too bad because this weekend he's got a bunch of A-listers like Barbara Streisand and this and that. I go, The guy's appendix exploded. He almost died, and they're like, "Too bad." He had a great lineup. I'm like, okay, priorities.
I was sad to hear that Dana Carvey's son OD'd.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez, I
That's
didn't
too
hear
bad.
that.
Yeah,
Oh my
pretty
God.
hard.
Accidental overdose. So.
Yeah.
Mitch might be excited with the Axel Foley's coming back though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 4. They
Yeah.
talked about that when he was gonna see that.
I hope they got it right because I know they made the pilot.
Third one?
No, they made the pilot for the TV show years ago. After the third one, and it was so bad that CBS is like, no, that's.
I was gonna say, really, who was in it? Was Eddie in it at all?
Eddie and Murphy was in it as
Really?
Axel Senior, but it was going to be about the kid
Ooh.
ultimately, and yeah, it's nope.
I saw Karate Kid is coming out with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio teaming up to fight Godzilla. Like I
like how Marvel has this extended universe and they're like screwing everything up right now. Meanwhile, Ralph Macchio over here has got his own little Karate Kid universe happening. And it's spreading everywhere. I love it.
Yeah.
Chemdog is correct.
Yes,
Marty Croft of Sid and Marty Croft passed away.
87, I believe, or something.
I was listening to the Gilbert Gottfried rerun when they had both of them on, Sid and Marty.
Yep.
And that's a shame. No, those shows were a big part of my childhood, certainly. Puff and Stuff and the Bugaloos and
Lidsville.
All that. Land of the Lost and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters and the Wonder Bug and
then the terrible variety shows, the Brady's variety show, Donnie
Charles
Marie
Riley and Billy Barty had a career because of the guys,
Pink Lady and Jeff was a Sid and Marty Croft production.
That's right. And Power Girl and Dinah is something of
oh my god.
Oh yeah, the
Electro Woman on Dinah Girl.
The Croft Super Show. Yes.
That's right. Bigfoot and Wild Boy was on that.
Yeah.
With, yes. And Michael Lembeck as Captain Cool.
Michael Lembeck. Yep. Forgot all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Dr. Shrinker. He's a madman with an evil mind. Yeah. Guys and women, look up those shows. They're so bad.
You gotta be on something, right? Aren't they on
No, I think they're just running on YouTube.
Really? Oh man.
But it's weird and maybe they tried and weren't able to succeed. But it is weird that we didn't get some sort of reboot of Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
They did, actually, that you say that a couple years ago. They did try to bring it back on the CW or whatever, and it bombed. I do remember they did try to bring it back. Oh, you know who was in it? Oh my god. The girl that Marky Post was in it. The girl from Night Court.
I do remember this.
Oh my god, I do too.
I remember that. Yeah.
Played an older version of her. I don't know what, 10 years ago, and it just.
I'm gonna have to find that.
Yeah.
This is how therapy must work because it's bringing up all these.
Marky Post and Ann Stedman.
Well,
and who?
We go.
Ann Stedman.
Ann Stedman. All right. No relation to Oprah Stedman.
I was gonna say is Stedman Oprah's guy. Stedman.
Wow. Well, there you go.
There you go.
And Dog says Sid Croft is 94.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
So Marty was the younger brother.
He was, yeah.
Wow. I just assumed it was the older brother that passed away. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I didn't know, listening to the interview with Gilbert and Frank, that I vaguely remember they tried in Atlanta to have an indoor amusement park.
Yep.
And it failed. And the land that it was on is now the CNN complex in Atlanta.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I do remember Sid and Marty Croft land. There's pictures online. Because I actually did, now that I recall, I did a whole hour on the Mitch and Ed's show. We did a whole thing about Sid and Marty Croft like 4 years ago. And they have all the designs and all the big foam, like they look like Grimace and stuff, a lot of like McDonald Land. And they spent a lot of money on that, and it did not do well. So
I had no idea.
This is a 1996 reboot.
1996.
No, this is not the Marky Post one. This is
there was another one?
Yeah.
Wow, 3 times they tried it.
So it's probably due for another one right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the Fantastic Four movies. They just keep trying.
Speaking of the Croft puppet characters, I had no idea they sued and won against McDonald's they claimed Air McCheese looked too much like Puffin stuff, and that the hamburger looked like witchy poo.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah,
had
no,
no
it
idea.
did. Yeah,
Like it took years, but we did win. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, that's awesome.
that's when you'd go to the McDonald's and there'd be these real LSD trippy things all over the place, and you're like, I just want my fries and a
Oh,
Coke.
please, that merch made a shit ton of money. Absolutely. Jikaro says too old, young for the original Land of the Lost and HR Puff and stuff, but he did watch the '90s version of the Land of the Lost on VHS. He always wanted the toys. Yeah, the Slee Stacks were the best.
There was a '90s version.
There was a '90s version of it. Yes. Here's one
Wow.
for you. The Land of the Lost itself started as a radio show back in the '40s, and then
But
there
it
was a
was
comic book called The Land of the Lost as
Yeah,
well.
but it was.
I know.
I'm aware of that kid show. That's the title existed. That's kind of like Roger Corman having the title Fast and the Furious. Completely different movie.
Oh, totally different thing. Yeah.
But when he found out, he's like, "Excuse me, I have the trademark on that name," and they had to pay him.
I know, because
good amount of money.
connecting it all to Star Trek, you know who co-created the Land of the Lost TV show?
Yes,
David Gerald.
David Gerald, yes.
Because he was at Terrificon, and he told us the whole story about it. So
and Timothy Bottoms was in the Land of the Lost remake in 1991.
Oh, and then there was that horrible movie with Will Ferrell.
And,
what are you talking about? Horrible. What are you talking about?
Horrible.
You know, the Crops hated it because they're like they hated the way the script was written. They're like, it became
Danny McBride was in it.
Danny McBride, absolutely. Yeah. Well, G.K. Rhodes right. He's like, it's a Ghostbusters and real Ghostbusters situation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you seen the trailer for the new Ghostbusters? Took me
Yes.
by surprise, but I'm like, ooh, this looks pretty good. I didn't even know it was coming out, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Next year, there's not going to be a lot of genre movies, really, with the strike and everything that's going on. You just got Deadpool, and then you got Ghostbusters, so it might be a whole renaissance. Maybe there's something brand new.
You have Joker 2. That's still coming out.
Joker 2, yeah, but imagine something brand new comes out.
I heard that the only movie that Marvel's really releasing next year is the Deadpool movie because they have high hopes that it's going to just jumpstart everything for them again.
Well, and again, it's like, all right, slow down. You move too fast, in the words of Simon and Garfunkel. They you know, here's another, and it's like
desperate.
We're getting bored. No, I think these things were already scheduled.
Yeah,
and again, we're getting bored. I know they push Echo to next year.
No, Echo's coming out in February or January. They're dumping. It was supposed to be November.
That's what
they pushed it back.
So they did indeed push it to next year. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Did I read something or hear something about Dave Filoni being put in charge of Star Wars?
Yep, that's true.
Yay!
Wow!
Yay!
Right?
Chief Creative Officer (CCO) of all of Star Wars stuff. Now they just need to get Feige's cool, but maybe they get Favreau to run the Marvel side of the house. That'd be kind of cool. But maybe
I don't know. I mean, and honestly, guys, I've been reading the new Marvel comics. I think the comics have been great. I just think that the agenda is fine, but maybe make it third or fourth priority, and first and second, good characters, good stories.
You know who did a great little story that came out of nowhere? Stephanie Phillips did Capwolf in the Howling Commandos, and I'm reading it, and at the same time I go to check my messages, and Stephanie's emailing me about coming back to Terrificon. I go, whoa, this is bizarre. She goes, what? I go, look, and I took a picture. I go, I'm reading this book right now, and I go to check, and you're texting me at the same time. So Stephanie Phillips and Brian Azzarello will be back at Terrificon on August 16th to the 18th.
Two of my favorite people, and I will bug them to go into the karaoke room that is there.
Or the bull riding thing. I want to see Brian Azzarello on that mechanical bull. Yeah.
They're hilarious. They're very funny. But yeah, I'm very happy for Steph. She's doing great. I'm also interested in all the distillery stuff that the former guys who were in charge of Comixology are putting out there.
We didn't talk about the season finale of Loki 2, buddy.
By all means.
Loki.
Because you all saw it, right?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Well,
at the end, Loki killed J.R. Ewing. Never saw that
coming. Again?
Oh, I know. I fucking ruined it. I'm sorry. But anyway, yes, Loki 2. See, not everything Marvel does is horrible. That was like a great story and wrapped up everything. And I'm like, This is your jumping off point right here. The guy just saved the entire MCU, literally. And it's like, well, we got nothing to follow up with that. I'm like, oh, okay. And did you see Taiki Waititi is not coming back for Thor 5, which I was like, they're making a Thor 5? I don't know.
Well, that's good because Love and Thunder sucked balls.
Yeah, it did. And you wasted that Brett Goldstein. Is that the guy from Ted Lasso?
Yeah,
he's Hercules.
Well,
that's happening? That ain't happening.
Oh, I think maybe it'll still happen. It's just going to be a while. But regardless, it's a shame that. Well, but it's over, Mitch. So you got to get over that. I mean, I get what you're saying, but what can we do? They production stopped for almost 6 months. That's going to F everything.
Here's the deal, though. You got those Werewolf by Night thing, one off, 55 minutes, well done. Why don't they just pepper like a Deathlock movie, set it up like the Omega Man, just a little alternate universe, one little episode. They got the What If shows coming at Christmas time.
Yes.
There's going to be one episode for 9 days or so. So they do
have
really?
Something. That's how they're doing it?
Yeah, starting on December 22nd, a new episode every night for 9 days. I go, is that really a good idea at Christmas time? Because people are so busy running around with New Year's and all this. I'm like, hey, everybody, stop what you're doing. It's 8 o'clock. We got to watch the new episode of What If.
Maybe they could do a one-shot Dr. Druid movie.
They should. That Dr. Druid's coming
with
back.
Paul Giamatti.
With Paul Giamatti. Yeah.
Why not?
He's got a cool podcast called Chinwag, by the way.
I want to see the new movie, The Holdovers, with him.
The school thing? Yeah, that's cool. Ordway said it was really entertaining. He saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see the Scorsese movie because my nephew is very intrigued by it. So that'll be a fun.
Yeah.
Flower.
Is anybody going to see Napoleon? I really don't care.
I'll wait and see it when it's. I don't need to see it on the big screen.
It'll be on Apple Plus in like a week or so, probably. So,
well, a couple months, but yeah.
No, I have no desire though. I'm like,
I hear you.
Napoleon.
No,
next movie. I'll see Oppenheimer, but I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet? Oh.
No. Or Barbie, for that matter.
Barbie, I think, is coming on HBO like next week. I think so.
Pretty soon, I would imagine during Christmas.
December 1st, Indiana
Jones comes
Disney. Yeah.
And then that's a great idea because we'll put the Blu-ray and the DVD on sale the following week. It's like,
that's weird. Wow,
tell me about it.
Wow.
I told the guy at Lucasfilm, he's like, we're going to do this nice little article about you. And my friend goes, don't say shit until the article comes out. I said, okay. And as soon as they put it out, I said, by the way, you guys dropped the freaking ball on the marketing of this movie like you would not believe. Why would you put it on streaming 5 days before you put it out for, to people buy for Christmas presents or whatever? It's like, what is going on? Do you want to make money or do you just want to lose money? Because you're losing money left and right here,
Yep.
So, whatever.
Jose Morales says Paul Giamatti is on the 30 coins on Max. Probably the closest thing to being a Dr. Druid.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. Did anybody watch How to Be a Mob Boss on Netflix? I did.
No.
I watched the live action Squid Games.
That's real?
Yeah, it is.
Did they kill anybody?
Did they kill people?
I'm sure everyone's like set up with a squib. I'm sure it's a squib on the inside. So the first game was like in the TV series, red light, green light. So you're running, same type of set with the little character turning the head, and then you'll see motion, and then you hear a boom. So the sound effect will be there, but then this black squib goes off on a person.
So it's the
everyone's
Squid Game.
Yeah, it's the Squid Game. So everyone's mic'd up. And what they try to do is, I like how they're editing it. If they're following certain characters, but those guys will die.
Okay.
So you don't know who's actually going to win.
Yeah.
But it's for 456 or 4 point. Yeah, is it 456 million? It's a weird number. Yeah.
Wow.
That seems like a lot. 456
million
seems like a lot.
It's 450 whatever it is, but it's 4.56 million is the game. And it's hilarious.
Ken Dog says his girlfriend loved Bodies.
Yes.
Vertigo movie.
That's a DC. Yeah, that's a graphic novel.
Comic, yeah.
Right. That's right. So Shelley Bond told me all about that. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
When is Trek coming on, John?
They
2024.
haven't announced a start date for Discovery, which is really weird, I think. Or they also haven't announced when Prodigy is going to wind up on Netflix either.
Oh, I thought that was a done deal.
It's a done deal. They just haven't announced a release date.
Well, I know that Strange New Worlds is starting film next week on the 11th. They're going back to work.
Yep.
So,
well, we'll see what that's like. And yeah, until you hear they're shooting, believe nothing, because I know Paramount is hemorrhaging money, and I don't know beyond those things that are planned, what might be next. And also, again, unless it does the same business that Young Justice did for Warner's, I would not expect a season 3 of Prodigy, no matter what. I mean, I'd say it's a 10% chance that we might get a season 3 of Prodigy. But I hope to find out when they announce the date of when it's coming back, because I want the Haberman brothers, who were the showrunners, to come on Word Balloon and talk with me. But here's hoping. So, that's funny. As we said earlier, ChemDog watching classic Doctor Who on Tubi.
there you go.
So that's cool. Excellent. Well, there you go, boys. I think we did good. I think that kind of covers everything I certainly wanted to talk about. I'm glad everybody had things that they wanted to share, and we will come back next week, talk about the next episodes of Doctor Who and Monarch, and we'll see what's going on with Quantum Leap and some of the other shows. But in the words of who does I'm Loving? Is that at McDonald's?
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Well, there you go. Yep.
Ryan Cox is doing McDonald commercials.
Is he really?
He's the voice in those commercials. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. There you go, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. And we'll talk to you next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.